2019년 5월 27일 Doctor Strange by Marvel Studios. Chapter 5. Mordo and Wong walked amongst the trainees as they worked through exercises designed to develop the basic powers that were common to all magical orders. Strange had learned the gestures, but he could not create the line of energy that seemed to come so easily to the other apprentice. None of the others helped him. Stephen Strange was so not used to asking for help from his peers. After the exercise, Mordo brought out a case and opened it revealing rows of two-finger rings. Mastery of the sealing ring is essential to the mystic arts, he said as each student took one. They fit over the index and middle fingers with a flat surface like half a sets out the multiverse. The students began to create crackling orange portal, but again Strange made the motions and got nothing, only a few sparks. Mordo stopped next to him. Strange concentrated hard. All you need to do is focus, Mordo said. Visualize. See the destination in your mind. Look beyond the world in front of you. Imagine every detail. The clearer the picture, the quicker and easier the gateway will come. All around him, apprentices were forming their gateways, sharp and clear. Strange could barely make a sparkle appear. He wasn't going to quit, but he was getting too frustrated to focus. And stop, Mordo said at a sudden Ascent one stepped out of the temple to the edge of the training ground. Another master worked with her hands folded in the loose sleeves of his robe. Strange recognized him, but they hadn't spoke yet. I like a moment alone with Mr. Strange, she said. Of course, Mordo beckoned the other students to follow him inside the temple, leaving Strange alone with the Ascent One and her companions. My hand, Strange said, guessing she was going to criticize his lack of progress. It's not about your hands. How is this not about my hands? He asked. They were all using their hands to make the symbols, weren't they? He had done all the readings his peers had and more. It had to be his hand holding him back. Master Hamir, the Ascent One said. Her companion spread his hand. No, hand. His left arm ended in scarred stump above the wrist. Without a word, Master Hamir used what remained of his left arm used to draw a symbol of power in the air. He held it for a moment, then let it flicker away. You cannot beat a river into submission. You have to surrender to its current and use its power as your own. I control it by surrendering control. That doesn't make any sense. Not everything does, she said. Not everything has to. Your intellect has taken you far in life. But it will take you no further. Surrender, Stephen. She raised her hand and he saw a sling ring on the left. With a quick circling gesture, she drew a portal in the air. Silence your ego and your power will rise. Come with me. Stunned, Strange followed the Ancient One through the portal. The image emerged onto a mountainside. Wind howled and snow swept over them. It was freezing, colder than anything Strange had ever felt. The air was thin in his lungs. He couldn't draw a whole breath, and what air he managed to get stung his nose and throat. Wait, he said, it's this Everest. It's beautiful. She was looking out over the Himalaya, the roof of the world, seemingly unaffected by the wind or the cold. Yeah, you're right. Beautiful, he said. It's freezing but beautiful. At this temperature, a person can last for 30 minutes before suffering permanent loss of function. The Ancient One said like she was reading it from a guard book. Great. Strange wondered what the point of this lesson was. He looked where she was looking. It was an amazing view, yes. But again, what was the point? Surely she didn't bring him all the way here just to play tour guard. But you will likely go into shock within the first 2 minutes, she added. What? Started to turn back to her. Surrender, Stephen, she said in a sing-song tone as she passed through the portal back to Karmataji and closed it behind her. No, don't! He tried to dive through it, but it only crashed down onto the snow-covered ground. Now also covered in snow, Strange felt more than cold. He felt angry and desperate. Back in the training courtyard, the Ancient One waited. Murdu saw her and approached. How is our new recruit? We shall see, she said. Any second now. No, not again. Murdu had seen her do this before. It was a difficult test, and those who did not pass, he took a step forward. Maybe I should, he suggested helpfully. She stopped him. So she held one hand behind her back, flicking a fan open and closed. It was her one nervous habit, or at least the only one Murdu had ever observed, and even then he would hesitate to call her nervous. The way what other people got nervous. They waited and waited. A portal sparkled to life in the courtyard, and Strange fell through it, gasping. Ice crossed his beard. He quickly got to his hands and knees and looked up at the ancient one. His face was a whirlwind of emotion, slowly receding fear and anger again. But eventually, in his face, she saw that he was beginning to understand. Alone in his room, Strange relived the experiments, the panic, the despairment, and then the incredible moment when he had felt it again. She made the photo. She had made even magic. Up until recently, he hadn't even believed in magic, but he had created a Buddha for himself just the same. Behind him hung a new robe. He would wear the gray of the apprentice no longer. Now that he had shown the first glimmering of powers, he needed a new he needed a new deep red robe. And he decided he needed a new appearance to go with it. He hadn't shaved or had a haircut since leaving New York weeks before. Now, by the light of a single bulb, he cut his own hair, taking his time. He had no way to be his hand hurt, but some reason now that he knew he could do something wonderful again, it didn't seem to hurt as much. With the borrowed electric laser, he clipped his beard and then shaved it to a shape that suited him. He liked the sharpness it gave his face. He combed his hair straight back and considered himself in the mirror. Yes, he was a new man. He had some consequent wisdom, and he'd begun to find it. Now it was time to see what else he could learn. Chapter 4. Chapter 5. Doctor Strange.